So the first thing I'm making is my Super-Decadent macaroni and cheese. So I have a box of elbow pasta. Now this is traditional and Southern macaroni and cheese. You can use whatever pasta you have on hand, but I like elbow because it just holds that cheese up really well. And the little crevices it creates with the cheese and the little butter goes through the pockets. You can't go wrong with elbow pasta. I'm going to boil this for 7 minutes until it's al dente. And I got some cheese to shred. All right, so I have sharp cheddar and extra sharp cheddar. I'm hand shredding a pound of my sharp cheese, and I'm going to cut my extra sharp cheddar cheese into blocks. It's my grandmother's recipe, but of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't add my little flair to it. Right, let me pause, my pasta is ready. Right, so I rinsed it with some cold water to stop the cooking process and just setting it back there. I am making a cheese sauce. The fancy term for it would be a bechamel, which is a roux. It's basically gonna thicken up my cheese sauce. So I have a half a stick of unsalted butter. I'm gonna add to this a few pinches of flour. My grandmother never measured this. She just put it in there. Okay, I'm gonna break it down with a whisk. So now I'm gonna add 2 cups of whole milk. All right, now I'm gonna use a half a cup of heavy cream. Bring this to a rolling boil. It should slightly thicken up as the heat rises. I'm gonna add my sharp cheddar cheese now. I reserved a little bit because I like to top it right before I put it in the oven. This is the consistency I want. Almost like a nacho cheese consistency. Okay, my grandmother does not use cream cheese, but I like using cream cheese because I'm all about decadence. This will also be a great time to add a pinch of salt, pepper, and garlic. Just added my garlic powder. I'm gonna add some freshly cracked black pepper and a pinch of salt because sharp cheddar is already salty. You don't want to over salt your macaroni and cheese. Ain't nothing like a salty macaroni and cheese, honey. They'll talk about you. You don't want that. You want someone to walk in and say, oh, she make a mean macaroni and cheese. All right, I'm gonna take it over here. I'm gonna put my elbow pasta in my pot. I'm gonna do all the mixing in this pot. Grab my spoon back here. You hear that? You hear that? That sound, you hear that? You know you got some good macaroni and cheese. Whoo, look at this, y'all. Woo-hoo. All right, so last but not least, I'm gonna add in 2 eggs. I'm gonna whisk it in there with my sour cream. I find that sour cream just elevates that tanginess from the extra sharp cheddar, so I like using that sour cream in there. And this is what makes Southern macaroni and cheese different from other macaroni and cheeses. It's the egg. It's what's gonna hold the macaroni and cheese together. Pour it into my pot, fold in the egg. I have a 9x13 casserole dish that I've put some melted butter in there. Just gonna pour that directly to the casserole dish. So now it's the time to add the cube extra sharp cheddar. When you cut your macaroni and cheese out of your casserole dish, you'll see these pockets of melted cheddar. Oh. Last but not least, the reserved sharp cheddar. All right, so I have my oven preheated to 350. I'm gonna bake this uncovered until it gets slightly golden brown on top and all the cheese has melted. Once that happens, I'm gonna get some foil and loosely cover it with foil and bake it for an additional 15 minutes to cook the center. I'm pulling out my macaroni and cheese. Ooh, I tell you, it smells delicious. You wanna see it? Look. Look at that. It looks like my grandma's. It actually looks a little better. It looks good. Grandma, you didn't hear that. Yours is still good.